They've kept it hidden for over half a century. Deep beneath the Alaskan ice lies a massive black pyramid, twice the size of Giza, yet completely erased from our ancient records. Why? Because the truth of this civilization is deemed too dangerous for the public. Even the Freemasons left a clue, a map hiding in plain sight on your $1 bill. In 1992, a covert team entered the Forbidden Zone and found something that forced the Pentagon to seal the skies. Was it alien technology or mysteries that defy our very understanding of time? Don't look away. Everything you've been taught is about to change. Take a trip back in time with me to a crisp autumn afternoon in 1974 in the mountains of Puerto Rico. There, the Arecibo Observatory, humanity's giant ear, embarked on a mission as proud as it was perilous. Top scientists beamed a powerful radio signal directly at the M13 star cluster, 25,000 light years away. What did they send? A binary code, simple ones and zeros. It was humanity's business card to the void, detailing our solar system, our double helix DNA, and even our physical form. The experts were confident. If someone intelligent is out there, they will understand who we are. They assumed that given the vast distance, a reply would take tens of thousands of years. But my friends, the universe was not that patient. Exactly 27 years later, on a misty August morning in 2001, in Hampshire, England, something earth-shattering occurred. Right next to the Chilbolton Radio Observatory, locals were stunned to find two massive crop circles. But calling them circles is an understatement. It was a giant digital print on the ground, so sophisticated that no farm machinery of that era could have created it overnight. As the first helicopter rose to film the site, witnesses gasped in terror. On one side was a strange humanoid face, and on the other, a perfect replica of the 1974 Arecibo Message. But listen closely to this. The response had been modified. Instead of human double helix DNA, they sent back a more complex triple helix structure. Instead of a small human figure, there was a being with an unusually large head and deep, hollow eyes. The classic image of the grays we often hear about in UAP reports. Was this a cruel prank or a chilling warning? We received your letter and we are completely different? Whispers emerged that suppressing this truth was an act of prejudice by mainstream scientific institutions who always seek to dismiss evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence to protect their aging theories. But those wheat stalks, bent by a strange heat, do not lie. Yet the truth gets even more shocking, because that bizarre DNA code in the creature's face didn't just appear in a field in England. It had appeared before, etched onto a small object buried deep in the sands of the New Mexico desert. Roswell, the Holy Land, where the darkest UFO mysteries began. What was this stone that forced the military to intervene? We are about to find out. If the story of the message in the English wheat fields didn't keep you awake, let's fly across the ocean to the sun-drenched lands of New Mexico. In 2004 in Roswell, a name that immediately triggers thoughts of shocking UFO cover-ups, a man named Robert Ridge was tracking a deer on a routine hunt. Amidst the desert dust, he stumbled upon a strange object. It was a small triangular stone, a uniform brown color, and impossibly smooth. But what made Robert freeze was the emblem embossed on its surface, a circle and crescent moon symbol, perfectly intertwined. When experts received the stone, they shouted in disbelief. That pattern wasn't just random scribbling. It matched, down to the millimeter and the exact percentage, the crop circle that appeared in England in 1996 and 2001. How could a stone buried in the American desert carry the signature of a phenomenon thousands of miles away on a completely different continent? The strangeness didn't stop there. This Roswell Rock possessed a physical property found in no other natural stone on Earth. It was highly magnetic. When you placed a magnet near it, instead of just sticking, the stone would automatically rotate clockwise or counterclockwise, depending on the magnet's pole. Seeking answers, it was taken to a local hospital for a 3D CT scan, just like a doctor would examine us. The result left everyone speechless. No magnetic core inside, no traces of manual carving, and no glue. It was a solid mass, seemingly created by nanotechnology we are only beginning to dream of. Mainstream scholars were quick to dismiss it as a sophisticated hoax. They offered arguments filled with prejudice, claiming ancient people were merely primitive tribes, lacking the intellect to understand magnetism or spatial geometry. But the truth sits right on the lab table. The Roswell Rock remains, challenging every law of physics and every human denial. It doesn't look like an ornament, it looks like a key. And if a small stone can flip science on its head, imagine the power of something 1,000,000 times larger hiding away. Why do the Freemasons, the men who hold the destiny of America, secretly revere symbols identical to those on this stone? And what are they hiding behind the walls of Washington, D.C.? The answer lies within an organization more secretive than anything you've ever heard. There is a secret sitting right in your pocket. Take out a $1 bill and look closely at the back. What do you see? A pyramid with its top cut off, and floating above it is a glowing eye, the all-seeing eye. This wasn't a random design choice. It is the hallmark of the Freemasons, the most secretive and powerful organization in human history. Our venerable founding fathers, from George Washington to Benjamin Franklin, were not just brilliant politicians, they were high-ranking Masons. Why were the greatest minds of early America obsessed with ancient Egyptian symbols and the stars? The answer may lie in an old lithograph of George Washington held in the Library of Congress. In that image, a detail was found that stuns the observer: a ladder reaching toward the sky, often called Jacob's Ladder. But look closely at the end of that ladder. It doesn't lead to clouds or a radiant heaven. It leads to a dark, circular object emitting strange, multicolored lights. It looks exactly like a modern-day UFO. Could the Freemasons have known long ago that humanity is not alone? They often refer to an entity called the Grand Architect of the Universe. To the public, it may be a religious concept, but to those at the highest levels, it could be an admission of an advanced race that designed life on Earth. Denying the influence of extraterrestrial civilizations is often a narrow-minded prejudice in free research circles, as it intentionally ignores the clear evidence our ancestors tried to pass down through symbols. But this secret network is larger than the borders of America. Researchers were shocked to find an impossible truth. Easter Island, the Great Pyramid of Giza, the ruins of Machu Picchu, and a host of other sacred sites all sit on a perfect straight line around the Earth's circumference. The margin of error is nearly zero. Imagine the Earth as a living entity, and these massive stone structures as its pressure points. They are like barcodes or giant antennas for transmitting energy signals, painstakingly installed by the ancients. And if such a network exists, there must be a control center, a primary power station. And that station isn't in a crowded city, it is hidden in the harshest, most remote place on the planet. Do you think Alaska is just a land of white snow and gentle polar bears? Steel your nerves, because what the US military accidentally scanned beneath hundreds of feet of ice will keep you awake tonight. Something is breathing, generating heat, and waiting to be awakened. What is it? We are entering the Alaskan Bermuda Triangle right now. Prepare yourselves, for we are about to enter one of the darkest and most controversial chapters in the classified files of the U.S. government. It all began in May 1992. China conducted a massive underground nuclear test. Terrifying seismic waves rippled across the planet. In Alaska, ultra-sensitive military sensors accidentally picked up unusual reflections. They didn't see natural geological faults. Instead, they hit a massive, solid, man-made structure buried hundreds of meters beneath the permafrost. It was a colossal black pyramid. Its location is right between Mount Denali and Mount Hayes, the wilderness often called the Alaska Triangle. A high-level electrical engineer, the son of a military officer who worked for Western Electric, bravely broke the silence. He recounted that his father was once taken down to a top-secret underground base via a massive elevator rising from the deep forest. When the doors opened, he was stunned to stand before a polished black pyramid, emitting an energy so powerful it numbed all normal senses. Internal reports claimed the power generated by this structure is enough to light up the entire country of Canada without a single cable. But why are we paying monthly electricity bills while such a free and endless energy source is buried away? Is it because this technology isn't from this world, and announcing it would collapse the global energy economy? Or worse, are the powers that be acting out of an intellectual prejudice and tyranny, viewing the public as unworthy of knowing about a superior civilization? This truth is so dangerous that anyone who touches it pays a heavy price. That brings us to the name Pat Price, the greatest psychic spy in CIA history. During the heat of the Cold War, Pat Price was the soul of the top-secret Stargate project. He didn't need planes or satellites. He just sat in a closed room and used his mind to see through Soviet nuclear bases from halfway across the world. But during a mission to find geopolitical secrets, Pat Price's mind accidentally wandered into Mount Hayes, Alaska. He described with horror what he saw. A massive underground base where tall extraterrestrial beings were working alongside our high-ranking military officers. They weren't fighting, they were cooperating. Pat saw computer systems so advanced they were beyond words, and energy conduits running along the mountain walls like veins. Pat Price knew he had seen what he was not allowed to see. He began to panic, telling friends he was being shadowed by men in black. Just days later, this healthy man was found dead under mysterious circumstances in a Las Vegas hotel. In less than 24 hours, his body was hastily cremated. No autopsy, no family consent. A cover-up so perfect it's chilling. They turned Pat Price to ash to protect the secret of the Black Pyramid. You see, when we ask questions, we become targets. When we seek the truth, we are labeled as dreamers. But the truth remains there, cold beneath the Alaskan ice, waiting for the day it is awakened. If you think Pat Price's psychic stories are just products of imagination, prepare for the next account. This time, it isn't spiritualism. It is hard evidence from a veteran pilot with over 35,000 flight hours. He went head-to-head with a massive metal monster right on top of an Alaskan volcano. An encounter that rendered the most modern aircraft useless. Who is the true master of this land? The answer will make your skin crawl. If you still think what we've discussed is just hollow theory, listen to the story of Theo Chesley. This isn't the tale of a dreamer, but the living testimony of a pilot with over 35 years at the controls and 15,000 hours in the brutal Alaskan skies. One day in October 2019, while flying over a remote volcanic region, Theo saw something that overturned every principle of aviation. In a crystal clear sky, a massive metal object appeared, shiny and cold. It wasn't a private jet or a military craft. It was a giant disc, half a mile long, nearly 800 meters, larger than the greatest aircraft carrier in the US Navy. This object stood perfectly still against the wind. Then suddenly, in the blink of an eye, It flipped its axis from horizontal to vertical without changing altitude. Theo managed to grab his camera and capture moments the government always wants us to believe don't exist. But the real tragedy began shortly after. As Theo tried to fly around the volcano, the aircraft's autopilot went insane. The compass needle danced wildly, and the plane was jerked 35 degrees off course, pulled toward the mountain as if by a giant magnetic hand. Theo had to use every ounce of strength, fighting the controls to wrestle his life back from a powerful, invisible suction emitting from the ground. He survived, but thousands of others have not. In the last 70 years, the Alaska Triangle has swallowed hundreds of planes and thousands of lives without a trace. Could they have accidentally flown into the energy field of the Black Pyramid antenna we mentioned? We live in a world where the truth is only the tip of the iceberg. Do you see a common thread? From the strange magnetic rocks of Roswell and the perfect stone spheres of Costa Rica, to the 10-foot giant skeletons found in Sardinia that disappeared from museums the moment scientists prepared to announce them. Why is this evidence always dismissed? Why does academia always use prejudice and scorn to belittle the intellect of our ancestors, claiming they were just ignorant people who knew nothing of energy or the cosmos? The truth is, we are being blinded by a system that doesn't want us to know that humanity once had a glorious past directly linked to the stars. The ancient architects, the Freemasons, and the extraterrestrials all seem to be part of a grand plan that we are only just beginning to touch. Truth does not need permission from any government or organization to exist. It is still there, in your wallet, in those magnetic stones, and deep beneath the Alaskan ice. Now, when you look at the night sky, you won't just see distant points of light. You will see neighbors, teachers, and perhaps the true masters of this planet quietly observing. Are you ready to accept that we are just a small part of a massive cosmic network? The truth is right here. And finally, we can breathe a sigh of relief because this secret is no longer just theirs. It belongs to you. We have traveled a long road from the fields of England to the frozen reaches of Alaska. And now take a deep breath, because we stand at the pinnacle of the entire truth. Why do all these scattered pieces connect so terrifyingly well? Connect the dots. The Freemasons, the designers of America's foundation, revere a grand architect. The pyramid hidden in Alaska generates enough energy to run a nation. And across 5 continents from Egypt to Mexico, ancient symbols scream one thing: gods from the sky descended to teach mankind. There is a shocking truth that mainstream science often ignores, or worse, uses prejudice to deny the intellectual stature of our ancestors. The latest physics studies have found that granite and basalt, the primary materials used to build pyramids and giant statues, are not merely inanimate rocks. They have a crystalline structure that allows for the storage of data in the form of stable magnetic energy for millions of years. What does that mean? It means the majestic pyramids, the magnetic Roswell rocks, or the Moai statues are not tombs or decorations. They are actually the hard drives of the universe. All information about human origins, star maps, and perhaps the manual on how to contact the creators are encoded right within these stone blocks. The US government and secret organizations aren't just hiding an ancient structure in Alaska. They are guarding a cosmic library. They hold the instruction manual for all of humanity, but choose to keep it hidden, waiting for the moment they can monopolize that superior energy and knowledge. Look back at history. We have never been alone on this planet. Earth is not just our home. It is a way station, a storage library, a grand laboratory for guests from distant galaxies. The ones the Freemasons call architects may actually be the ones who place these hard drives into the ground, waiting for the day we were mature enough to open them. This truth may make you shiver, but it also brings great comfort. We are part of something much larger than daily petty struggles. We are the heirs to a cosmic-level legacy. And now, as the veil of secrecy over the Alaska Pyramid and the Freemasons is slowly lifted, we are ready to touch our own destiny. This evening, when you step out onto your porch, breathe in the fresh air, and look up at the sparkling night sky, take a moment to reflect. Those distant lights are not just burning gas. One of them might be the home of the guests who once visited us, or the place where our 1974 Arecibo Message finally found a port. Remember, while you are looking up at the stars, quite possibly from the icy and lonely peaks of Alaska, another eye is looking back at us. The secrets we've explored together might make you feel a bit uneasy, even fearful of human insignificance. But that fear is the key to awakening. It reminds us that this world, this universe, is vastly larger and more wondrous than anything we were taught in traditional classrooms. The next time you pull out a dollar bill to pay for a cup of coffee, stop for a second. Don't just look at it as paper currency. Look at that pyramid in that eye as a reminder of an ancient alliance, a truth existing right in the heart of America. It is time we stop being obedient sheep and start being truth hunters. Are you truly ready to step through the door the government always wants to keep locked? Thank you for spending your valuable time with me on this journey to find the forgotten pieces of history. If you also feel the pulse of curiosity, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon below. It's the best way to ensure you don't miss the next classified files we are decoding day and night. Share this video with friends of your generation, those with enough life experience to understand that the truth isn't usually on the front page, it's in the hidden footnotes. Goodbye for now. Keep a brave heart and an open mind. I'll see you in our next exploration of the unknown. The truth is still out there, waiting for you.